Hello everybody and welcome to a very special video. In this video I'm going to be going over one of the craziest updates to GeoGuessr and Google Street View in a very long time. As of literally less than 24 hours ago, coverage has been released in Kazakhstan. Gen 4 coverage, it's official Google coverage, which is absolutely crazy. Kazakhstan, one of the biggest countries in the world, and certainly one of the biggest countries to get Gen 4 coverage or coverage at all since I've started playing the game. And perhaps most notably, nobody knew that this was coming. People keep tabs, there's virtual streets and there's huge numbers of people keeping tabs on where the Google cars have been spotted, where they've been driving. Nobody knew that coverage was going to be released in Kazakhstan, which makes this completely crazy, completely out of the blue. It just dropped and people have been freaking out. So today I'm going to jump in and show you guys what the new coverage looks like. Perhaps hazard a guess at what some of the metas are going to look like. So for now, in case you didn't know, Kazakhstan is this country here in Central Asia, borders Russia and China and Kyrgyzstan. So as for where the coverage is, it's releasing in drips and drabs, so you can't really see it very well, but a lot of the there's some coverage that has dropped in Astana. There is coverage on highways like this, so there's rural coverage, there's coverage in the cities. If I go into Astana, there is new coverage in the city, but it's releasing in sort of drips and drabs. As often happens with Google updates, it's not all releasing at once. So there's coverage in Astana, there's coverage on some of the highways, there's coverage in Almaty. I don't know about all of the cities, I don't know if there's coverage in Karaganda, but it's coming, and over the next few weeks and months I'm sure that more and more coverage will start to get rolled out. Now, the coverage, as you may have seen, has a truck. So a bit sad for people who don't like car meta, but the coverage is all in this white Gen 4 truck. It looks very similar to the Panama truck, I believe, also the truck that they used in some of the new Kenya coverage and also in the UAE. So sort of standard white pickup truck. I'm sure that endless car metas will be developed, but thankfully the car that this is most similar to is the Panama car, and hopefully you can see just by looking around that it should hopefully be very difficult to mistake this for Panama. So that's what the coverage looks like. It's all Gen 4. And a couple of notes on distinguishing things. So the Kazakh language, when written in Cyrillic, has a few different characters to Russian. So this R character here, you see that it's near the Kazakh border a couple of times in Russia, but very much more of a Kazakhstan thing. Same thing with this sort of F-like character here. This K and this N with the dash at the end of the letter are unique again. This character that looks like a Greek theta is also distinct. This U with a dash through it looks like a Y with a dash through it is unique. A number of unique characters as well, also the I with a dot, which you see in Ukrainian as well, but again, Ukraine only has Gen 3. So Kazakhstan, all Gen 4, so if you see an I with a dot and you're in Gen 4, you're going to be in Kazakhstan. Now, on the note of languages, another language that you'll see is the Kazakh language written in the Latin script. So you'll see Kazakh written in both the Cyrillic script and also in the Latin script, and you can see both on this sign. And you'll also see it written in an Arabic-like script, because an important thing to remember, Kazakhstan, unlike Russia or Ukraine, is a majority Muslim country. So there are roughly 67% of people in Kazakhstan are Muslims, so you'll see a lot more mosques in Kazakhstan compared to Russia and Ukraine, for instance. So mosques will be a frequent sighting, and the vast majority of Kazakh language that you'll see on signs and everything will be written in Cyrillic or in the Latin script, but you may occasionally also see things like this Arabic script, especially on mosques or religious buildings. Another thing that I thought I'd take a quick look at is the elevation map of Kazakhstan. So taking a look through, a lot of the country, particularly in the west, is fairly flat, whereas you get these huge mountains in the southeast border, and there's this big lake down in the southeast that I imagine will become quite useful for pinpointing in the future. So there's this mountain range that sort of goes through the middle, and then the really big mountains are on the south and east border. Now, in terms of cities, some of the biggest cities are Astana, which is the capital, Almaty, which is down near the mountains in Kyrgyzstan. You have Karaganda, which is sort of between the two. You have Pavlodar, which is up near the Russian border, and I don't know whether there's coverage out here yet, but you have Atirau out on the sea. So yeah, I imagine, it may eventually become very useful knowledge to know all of the regions and subdivisions of Kazakhstan. I know I'm probably going to get out and learn those this afternoon in preparation for, inevitable Kazakhstan moving rounds. But with all of that covered, I figured that to finish off this video, I would jump in and play some Kazakhstan in the new coverage. So I'm going to play on a balanced Kazakhstan, new map with over 1,000 locations, handpicked by Brendan Johnston, absolute legend for putting this together so quickly. So yeah, I'm going to jump in and have a look. I'm going to play no move, and we'll see how it goes. Probably play a couple of games. We have Baidala, so I imagine that we'll see a fair amount of bilingual signs in Kazakhstan. Yeah, I have no idea where this is. I would love to be able to zoom in. I'll have a quick scan for Baidala, but not very familiar with Kazakhstan names. Now I imagine that it's fairly flat, so we are probably somewhere before we hit the mountains down here. So I'm probably going to guess near Astana. We'll see. Okay, it's further northeast, up near the mountain, or up near Russia. Some sort of city visible to our northwest. This looks a bit greener and a bit more hilly, with like rolling hills. I wonder if this is ever north. I don't know where exactly all the new coverage has been released. Might give that a try. Okay, it's just down near Karaganda. Clearly, I know nothing about Kazakh region guessing. You'll notice as well that in terms of general vibes, at least to me, it feels like Russia, but with the Panama car. This antenna is different. Okay, there's probably going to be metas for different antenna, but that antenna definitely looks different to other antennas that I've seen, so that's interesting. Yeah, this feels so much like the Russia coverage that we're all so familiar with, but with the great big honking white Gen 4 car. Ah, this is interesting. So now we see mountains, huge mountains south. Jeez, that is gorgeous. So with these mountains and also some hills north, I mean, I kind of want to go near Almaty somewhere, surely. Somewhere like this, maybe? Wow, okay, there's coverage down there. I did not know that the coverage down there had been released already. This is going to take a lot of getting used to. Wow. Well, this is crazy. Huge river. Again, feels very, very plains-like. I wonder if we're ever further out this way. It seems like coverage has been released in a lot of locations. Wow. Not that far from the previous region, and that makes sense. Yeah, I imagine that in a short little while everybody will be familiar with all of the rivers and general landscapes of Kazakhstan. I'll play one more game and then end the video there, because clearly I have a lot of studying to do. It's crazy how much this looks like Russia. Yeah, if you remove the car, and I didn't know that Kazakhstan coverage existed, this is an instant Russia send for me. Yeah, I have no idea where these locations are. Okay, it turns out to be not the worst guess. Now this looks a bit more deserty. Do you go more central out here? I think this sort of region is probably more deserty. Ah, it's this portion down here. Whereas this is much greener, so I'm guessing that this is probably closer to like North Russia. I imagine that there will be a lot of... There we go. Yeah, okay. So there's differences in the amount of vegetation, as you'd sort of expect, just looking at the map. It's greener up north and more dry down south. Oh, this is in a city somewhere. I might just hedge Karaganda. Kislorda, okay, or Kisilorda. Yeah, this is very forested, so I guess you go more north. Ah, okay, yeah, forested, but I guess where I clicked was too flat. So over here it's a bit more hilly. Interesting. Well, I imagine that over the next few weeks and months, people are going to get quite good at region guessing Kazakhstan. For now, as you can see, I'm not that good at all, but I imagine that there are going to be some patterns that people are going to pick up on pretty quickly, and yeah, general landscape guessing guides will probably start to pop up left, right, and center. From here, because it being such a large country, people are going to want to spend time learning it, because there's potential for big damage in jewels. So, with all of that said and done, I hope you have enjoyed this video. I hope you're excited about the news as I am. And thanks very much for watching. Have fun guessing in Kazakhstan, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!